Great. Once more, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are more than happy to welcome you to this MADE webcast series. Today we have on the planned our solution ModelSearch, and we also welcome the TriStar customers and prospects from the United States. So we are really happy and proud to work close together with the TriStar team. And we have a lot of attendees today as well out of this area. To give you a little bit the feeling, we have attendees from Germany, from Switzerland, from Austria, from Belgium, from the Netherlands, from UK, from Sweden, from Finland, from Italy, from Spain, from Turkey. I'm missing those guys from Greece. And we are always really surprised worldwide with all of our partners already. We have ModelSearch customers and as well new prospects. When I say we are more than hardly welcome you today, from whom I'm speaking and what have we planned to you. So it's all about ModelSearch today, our really revolutionary 3D geometric search solution. And today I will have the great pleasure that I have Philipp Hinterdorfer, our product manager for ModelSearch, attending, and he will show live ModelSearch with a lot of use cases and new customer features and functionalities what we brought have in. As well, on the right hand side you can see here Harald Haslinger. He's the guy who is running from a product development perspective our software engineering department in this area of ModelSearch and other solutions. He's not live attending, but if you have any question, or especially for those customers who are attending which are already using ModelSearch, then we are always happy to get as well a feedback, or if you have some special wishes. We are before Christmas time, so please feel free also to send us this information. My name is Gerhard Schwab. I'm responsible here for our so-called MADE standard software solutions within our MADE group. As many of you know, we have done a merger in the last 2 years, so we are right now more than 650 employees within the MADE group, organized in MADE Germany, MADE Switzerland, and MADE Austria. And today I welcome you out of our headquarters here in Linz in Austria. When I'm talking about ModelSearch and what is the reason why customers or organizations are doing a decision or are looking for a 3D geometrical similarity search solution. And a lot of our partners and as well of customers and prospects are facing really those these challenges what you are seeing here. Also, what I hear a lot of is that people say, okay, we are hiring new people in our design department, and it's so hard that they really can ramp up with the learning curve by getting all the information what we already have in our design environment within our database. And therefore we also have special use cases what we are presenting to you today live. All together, what we see as a common challenge is that organizations like to more and more intense use their parts and doing a standardization, but nobody wants to spend any time. And with ModelSearch, we have brought up a solution which really helps you out of the box in being able to reuse parts much often. So why is it so hard in getting out here a solution within a whole organization. And what we see here is, first of all, what we always hear from our customers in different industries like machinery, special machinery, automotive suppliers, in the aircraft and their suppliers industry. They say our parts are exploding. Why? Because copy and paste for sure is in a design environment almost a common work methodology, and therefore it would be great in having a solution where I can identify duplicates. That means 100% geometrical identical parts by just pushing a button. How that works and how fast this is, you always will be, I think, really surprised when you see later on that within our demo environment. Finally, what also for us is sometimes also surprising is where model search is used within an organization. And it doesn't matter if it's a small and medium business customer with maybe 10, 15, 20 employees, or it's a really large organization with thousands of employees. We see right now model search for sure in the engineering department, and in the design environment, and in the simulation and project management as well, in the sales area, therefore for product managers and so on. But more surprising for us is that we have customers which are using model search in the purchasing, in the procurement department, or in manufacturing, in product assembly, just in the production area, or by stock keeping, and in the service area. We have some use cases what we also have prepared for you without of some customers, which we like to show you. I always get the question, at least from management or from the decision makers in the companies, why should we spend any US dollar or any euro in model search, and what will even be our payback or payback period? And what we really see here is that we have a lot of customers where we have return of invest less than 12 months. Why? Because the costs for creating a new part and bringing that in the ERP/PLM system as a new part is highly cost intensive. Why this is, from this organization out or located in Germany, there is paperwork how you can calculate what the costs will be. If you are interested in that, feel free to contact us. We are more than happy to support you and give you this information. So what we see on our first-time customers, what we have for model search, we see that a lot of companies did the decision for model search because they want first to have a solution which fully automatical helps them in being able to identify all the duplicates what they have, and being able as well then to handle it by a smart way. We will see that later on, what the functionality is here and how that works. The second part is for sure that the reuse of design parts or templates sometimes is very hard, especially if you are a new employee, or as well when you see or have the situation, what we see a lot of is that companies have different divisions, they have maybe different locations, then as well they're using different languages as we have it today here. We have German, we have France, we have Spain, we have Italy, we have English native speaking people here, and that makes it in a global organization almost hard to find parts, because you most likely cannot use a name, or there's a different naming screen, or as well from a product number perspective. Or if you think about that companies are doing an acquisition of another company, maybe they are working on a different cut solution as well. So it gets very, very hard in identifying or even get the information, or even further to get fully automatical and information that there are already existing design parts anywhere in our database. So what is the prerequisite for that? And the only prerequisite what is necessary in using ModelSearch is that you as a company have to have Windchill. And why is that so important, or what is also here the let's say some unique features and functionalities, and what is the beauty of ModelSearch? So first of all, when we started 13 years ago in creating ModelSearch for our first customers, we all get a feedback from the market because there was several other solution providers already on the market. This has to be a native Creo or a Windchill application. The good news for you guys is that no longer we are just limited to Creo Parametric and Windchill. We have since the middle of this year as well a solution, a bundle available for multicut in combination with Windchill. And for all of those guys who are using modeling, the former Solid Designer in combination with Windchill, for example, we also have a solution in place where you can use ModelSearch. The second point, what we got as feedback from customers and prospects was, it's nice to have a solution where I can search about different CAD models, but it would be much nicer in having a fully automatical design support, which proactively shows me already existing parts. And you will be maybe wondering, within this ModelSearch Live application, we have exactly created this functionality. So the third part, which was for everybody very, very important, was it must be an out of the box plug in and play functionality in creating this so-called geometrical footprint information. Just for your information, that is the stuff why we are able to do a comparison on these parts. Also something what you later on will see how that works and how easy that is. And the good news here is as well, from an CAD or a Windchill PLM administrative perspective, you have to prepare nothing. We will deliver with our partners worldwide everything what is needed for the implementation, and that you can very, very fast use ModelSearch in your whole Windchill environment. Finally, what we see, and that was also very important, and a first request of more or less of all of our customers and prospects was, we just, or let's say, we don't like to have it limited just to our design department. We want to have an open system which supports all of our departments, and therefore we have here the so-called interactive search environment, which is available in Creo, but also just in Windchill. So the prerequisites, as already mentioned, is not that you have a CAD system or a CAD user and a Windchill user. That makes things maybe more funny and more delighted will be the users if they have both systems, but also if you're just using Windchill, you will see all the features and functionalities what ModelSearch is providing here. So when I'm telling about the benefits, what we in the last couple of months see is that ModelSearch is growing very, very fast. And when we are starting within some customers like Bucher, Leichbau in Switzerland, they have first used ModelSearch in the area of the product R&D department, in the engineering department. Now it's all over the whole organization, and they started with 10 licenses of the beginning, and now they have over 40 licenses, for example, in use, because they are using right now ModelSearch as well in the purchase department, in the production area, and as well in the service area. We will have later on the opportunity in giving you some examples here why that is so important, and where really in all of these areas there are strongly benefits and cost savings compared in the use of this ModelSearch solution. So we are coming, and I want not to take a lot of your time because I'm absolutely sure that all of you are more interested in seeing a live presentation, what the solution really can deliver to you, and not having a sales guy sitting here in front of you and bringing all this informations. But we are proud and happy with all the new name customers and with the follow-on decisions. Just to mention here some of them, what we have. And we are happy to have right now ModelSearch more or less all over the world. We are missing Japan and China as areas where ModelSearch not yet we have a customer, but more or less in all the other areas worldwide we have customers and new decisions as well for them. When we are looking here on this ModelSearch customer excerpt, because I've got some questions up front to this ModelSearch webcast today, and that was, what are most likely, or what are the main customers, in which industries they are working and why? So let us look a little bit here on different companies. Most of them, what you see here, are coming out of the machinery or out of the special machinery industry. Most of them are using Creo Parametric and Windchill, but we have also customers which are using multi-cut environments and in combination with Windchill. We have companies in the medical device area. We have automotive OEM and suppliers. We have in the area of what's here as well here. Milacron, for example, a very large company based with the headquarters in US. We have here installations in Germany, in the Czech Republic, and in other areas as well. And we have small and medium-sized customers where we have companies which have maybe 5 up to 10 designers and maybe 20 Windchill licenses, to large organizations like the whole Liebherr Group, located with the headquarters in Germany, or the company Herrenknecht as well, a German-based company where we have over 300 ModelSearch licenses in use, or for example KTM sport motorcycle with the headquarters here in Austria, with also a company license they are using for everybody ModelSearch. What they found out is, because as you maybe know, they have acquired in the couple of the last years several other companies and trademarks like Husqvarna, like GasGas, and now they are looking forward in reusing all these parts in different divisions, and therefore ModelSearch gives them the ability in being here really fast. I'd like to mention here also a company which was our #1 customer in Germany, the company with the name MBO. Right now with MBO, we as also a BTC Platinum partner, we are happy to got the order for doing a migration from Model Manager to Windchill. And MBO is already using since 10 years ModelSearch in the combination modeling with Model Manager. They will do a migration and will later on use modeling in combination with Windchill. Maybe for some of you that's interesting, and I'm like to also ask you in a few minutes which software status or which versions are you using, that we later on, when Philip will do the live presentation, can focus on the right bundles, on the right functionalities, on the right stuff. As already mentioned when I started, the stuff is we are more than happy to answer your question today. So if you have any question, please type it in just in the question area. And for now, I will ask you, ladies and gentlemen, a short question. I started, and it would be very kind if you can give us a short feedback. Which software solutions you are using, because then we understand and I can give Philip the information on which solutions we will focus our demo, and will later on as well give you more deep dive informations about all the news on these special bundles and areas. We have today prospects, we have also already existing customers. That's really great. And when I see right now, we have roughly 60%, Philip, out of the attendees are using Creo Parametric in combination with Windchill. And we have roughly 25% with Creo Parametric and Multicut and Windchill. We have 6% modeling with Model Manager, and also 6% modeling with Windchill, that you have roughly an information. So thank you very much for your feedback and for your information. That's really awesome. And so we know exactly what we can best do for you in the presentation and how we can focus on which areas. I see we have in the meantime one question. Okay, Creo Parametric and Multicut with Windchill. Okay, that's fine. Great. No, there's no question. So I will hand it over to you, Philip. I will give you the screen and as well the word right now.
Thank you very much, Gerhard, for the nice introduction. Also, thank you to all attendees for the information regarding the CAD and the PDM system. Well, also hello from my side, or warm welcome from my side. My name is Philipp Hinterdorfer. I'm ModelSearch Product Manager, and I will show you how ModelSearch Live, how ModelSearch works in action. So I always start my demo with the mounting bracket. In the first part, let's imagine we are located in the design department. So we are a designer and we need this mounting bracket for our assembly. As we are used to Creo Parametric, we will directly jump into and start with the design. And that's what I will do. So I select the first plane and I start to create the first feature. Should be a rectangle. I'll change the dimensions, length of 90, height of 70. I finish the creation of the sketch. I define the height of the feature, and then I finish the creation of the feature. I directly jump into the creation of the second feature. I create two center lines. Once more, a rectangle, which I then mirror. I then create the dimensions again. So doing basic engineering work, I would call it. And let me also define the length of the sketch. I'll finish the second sketch. I define once more the height of the feature, and then I finish the creation of the feature. Maybe you have already noticed after the first feature, I created it, the model got regenerated automatically, the so-called footprint got calculated, a similarity search started, and ModelSearch Live appeared in the lower right corner, showing me similar models that already exists in my database. It's absolutely no problem if you missed it, because I can start the search also manually by example regenerating the model, which I currently did. If I move the mouse over the preview, then it's fixed to the foreground, so I do have a bit more time to start my investigations. In my case, I found models. Some of them look like the model I now have on my screen. The other ones look like the model I showed you before, so they already look like the mounting bracket I need. Maybe let's talk about the overview of ModelSearch Live itself. As you can see at the top, it shows me 3 attributes. In my case, it shows me the model's name, the life cycle, as well as the bounding box, or let's call it the outer dimensions. The good thing is those attributes are customizable, so we can show you each attributes which come from the CAD system and are stored in Windchill. We can show you attributes that are only available in Windchill, but we can also show you attributes which are available in a third-party system, like any ERP system. Because maybe your designers are interested in how many models you have on stock, and that information only is available in the ERP system. Or maybe you are interested in the production cost of the model, because the designer should reuse the one which is the cheapest for you. So whatever attributes are interesting for you, we can customize those and can show you only the ones you need. So let's take a look in the lower left corner of the preview images. There the model icon is located. Probably the one on the left side, it's the one from Creo Parametric, but if we take a closer look to the others, then you see they differ. The reason is I'm not working in a homogeneous environment, I'm working in a multi-cut environment. That means in Windchill, I do have Creo models, I have Creo Element Direct models, but I also have CATIA, NX, SolidWorks, and Inventor models there. And of course, if I do have them in Windchill, then I can also find them with ModelSearch. In the lower right corner, we do show you the similarity rating. The higher the similarity rating, the more similar the models are. We also use the similarity rating for sorting the preview images. So the ones on the left side do have a higher rating than the ones on the right. We also use the similarity rating to highlight the results. So as you can see, I do have 3 images which are highlighted green. If the similarity rating is between 90 and 100%, then we highlight them in green. If the similarity rating is between 80 and 90%, then we highlight them blue, and there are 3 for other possibilities. So ModelSearch does not only work with easy or small models, like in my case, the milled model. It also works with more complex models, like the molded one, which is now visible in Creo Parametric. As you can see, ModelSearch is directly integrated into Creo Parametric, which means we also have a separate tab with all the functionalities available. And as I showed you before, I can also start the search manually by hitting the live button. If I do so, the result in the lower right corner will update. You can see now the results of the molded part. ModelSearch Live appears automatically, stays on the screen for a configured time, and as you could see, it also hides automatically, so the designer doesn't get interrupted if he's not interested in the results. Of course, it also works for assemblies. So I've created one before the webcast. I hit the live button again, and as you can imagine, in the lower right corner, ModelSearch Live appears, showing me similar assemblies that are already available. So to summarize, it works for milled parts, for turned parts, for molded parts, for assemblies, and it also works for sheet metal models. So let me hit the live button again. The similarity search is started, and the results are displayed in the lower right corner. ModelSearch also works with interchange file formats. So let's imagine you receive models from your supplier, or you may download models from the internet. Like I did, I downloaded a motor from a website. In my case, it's a step file. I import it to Creo parametric. The model gets regenerated, the footprint gets calculated, and once more, as you can see in the lower right corner, ModelSearch Live shows me similar models that are already available in my database. It can happen that maybe my colleague has downloaded the same model 1 week earlier, and he already has provided all the information we need in Windchill, or all the information we need in the ERP system. Then, of course, I do not want to add the information again. I'd like to reuse the one my colleague already has created. So as we now know, ModelSearch can search for similar parts, for similar assemblies. We probably can go one step further. So the next step probably is to start your analysis. We have found similar models, but we need to be able to decide if we can reuse them, if they fulfill all the criteria we need. And I think the easiest way would be if we could just open them in Creo parametric. And as you can see, it's directly on your fingertips. ModelSearch is directly integrated into Creo parametric and Windchill, and that's why we can directly open the models from the search result into Creo parametric. In my case, I have found seven models which I'm interested in, or which are very similar. So I want to figure out which one fits best for my use case, and that I don't have to jump from one window to the next one. We can load all results into one assembly, which makes it a bit easier for you to compare the results. Sometimes it can happen that you have found 2 or maybe 3 identical models, 2 or 3 geometrically identical models. Well, then probably you want to reuse the one where all the downstreaming stuff already exists. So for the design department, where the drawing already exists, where the strengths calculation was done, the material selection was done, or if the model is manufactured in-house, where the CAM program is available, where you know which machines you need for manufacturing, which raw material, which tools, or when the model is purchased, then which supplier can manufacture the model, how long did it took him the last time, and of course, what was the price. But where to figure out all that information? Well, probably in Windchill. And as you can imagine, it's also available on your fingertips. With just one mouse click, we can forward you to the model's information page in Windchill, where you can figure out all the information you need. Pretty easy, But that's not all. I guess you really need to figure out the differences between the models. And sometimes it's not that easy, because sometimes you have small differences. For that, we also implemented a functionality called model comparison. It may take a while, so we have created an algorithm which figures out the best position of the 2 models. So it will assemble them, and paint them. In my case, one model is painted red, the other one is painted transparent green. In Creo, the resulting color is, let's call it brown. So this means if you see brown colored surfaces, then those exist in both models. So if you have brown colored ones, or let's call them shaded ones. If you only see green surfaces, like in this area, or red surfaces, then they are only available on one of those two models. Quite a nice functionality. But what about inside geometry? For that, we have added 3 cross sections to this assembly. One in X, one in Y, one in Z direction. If you do need additional cross sections, it's absolutely no problem. It's a native Creo parametric assembly. You know how to add cross sections, as well as you know how to modify them. And last but not least, we offer you 2 difference models, which are hidden by default. So let me explain you how they are created. The selected difference model is created in the following way. Geometry of the first model, of the model called Tech World, is copied, and geometry of the second one is subtracted. In my case, it looks like that the second one was bigger than the first one. That's why the difference model stays empty. The second one is created the other way around. So this means that's the complete difference between those models. I think it's worth to mention that it also works for assemblies. In addition, it's also worth to mention that ModelSearch is a geometric similarity search solution. So this means we only store geometric information, or we only compare geometric information. So this means we don't care about how you have created the model, which features you have used, or where the model is located. So let's imagine a shaft. There were plenty of possibilities how to create a shaft. Maybe the first designer creates it with the revolve feature. The second designer creates it with the extrusion feature. And the third designer creates it using surface functionality. At the end, it's always the same shaft. So it has the same geometry, the same dimensions, the same lengths, the same moment of inertia. And that's why we can find and identify those models. That's why it also works with all different CAD files like Creo Elements Direct, CATIA, NX, Inventor, SolidWorks, as well as with all the interchange file formats like STEP and IGES. So let's jump into another role. Let's change position. Let's jump into the manufacturing department, or let's imagine we are now located in the manufacturing department. And our job is to manufacture the model. We may remember we have manufactured a similar one in the past, but how to find it? Well, without knowing the article number, we probably fail, which means we recreate the CAM program from scratch. With ModelSearch, it's really easy. Just start a similarity search in Windchill. You're forwarded to the result list, where the results are once more sorted by the similarity rating. The one at the top, the one that's highlighted, is the model I have started the search with, and below are all the results. So if we take a look, in my case, I've only found one result right now, which has a similarity rating of 84%. So the one at the top is the model I started the search with. The second one is the model I identified. I can also check it out in a bigger preview. It's called the gallery view. You can see below there are also attributes. Those can also be customized. But probably the most interesting is you have bigger preview images at the top. And with those, we can figure out the differences of those two models already. So if we check it out, then we can see on the left side, we have 5 bosses. On the right, there were only 4. So at least it looks like that's the whole difference. If that's the case, then I'm quite sure I can reuse the CNC program from the model I found. I don't need to create it from scratch. I just have to modify it. Of course, this once more also works for assemblies. So let me navigate to one. I'm on the model's information page. Once again, I open the actions menu where I start the similarity search. I'm forwarded to the result list, and as you can see, I found at least 3 assemblies which look very similar to the one I started the search with. But that's not all for assemblies. We also have the possibility to analyze them. What does this mean? Well, when I start an assembly analysis, I'm forwarded to a new tab where the whole structure of the assembly is listed. And with just one button, I can start the similarity search for all components in that assembly. As you can see on the right side, it already shows me the similarity rating. Don't worry, I know there were not all objects listed right now, but that's because I'm working with a threshold. I'm only interested in models which have a higher similarity rating than 90, because those I can probably reuse. All the other ones I'm not interested. That's why I don't show them. If I'm interested, how does the model look like, or what's the article number of the model which has a similarity rating of 91%, then I can make it accessible in a separate table below. In that case, I've identified a model which has a similarity rating of 100%. That means I've identified a geometric identical model. So if I'm currently in the release process of the assembly, I probably would like to change the model. I would like to reuse the one that I already have in my database. So what about duplicates? Well, that's also something ModelSearch can find or identify. We are looking for duplicates in runtime, and the users can access the duplicate report. In the duplicate tab, we do have 4 subtabs. Mostly, I only focus on the visible duplicate groups tab, because these are the ones the system has identified and I haven't worked through. In my system, I have identified 337 duplicate groups. The groups are called after a model that's inside, and in brackets you can see how many models we could identify. So this means the first group contains 7 geometric identical models. How do they look like? Well, you can check it out in a separate table below. So as you can see, all those 7 models are geometric identically. The only difference is the article number. So most of our customers want to get rid of their duplicates. They like to delete it in Windchill. They like to get rid of them on stock as well as in manufacturing. But in Windchill, it's probably not that easy because they are already in use in assemblies and nobody wants to change them. So, of course, there's an easier way. You very simply can change the life cycle from 6 of those models to obsolete. So all your colleagues know they are not allowed to reuse them. If you did so, you're probably not interested in that duplicate group because you still have 336 to go. Therefore, you can change the duplicate group setting. You can mark them. In my case, I remove the visible box, which means I change the visibility state from visible to invisible. As you can see, there were only 336 left. With that action, I have moved the group from the visible to the invisible duplicate groups tab. So now maybe you are asking yourself, why is there a third tab, or where is there a third visibility state? Well, that's also very easily explained. In each company, you have the black sheep, the guy who does not work with model search, which means he creates a model that's once more geometrically identical than the ones from the group. So model search identifies that, adds the model to the duplicate group, automatically changes the visibility state, and moves the group into the changed duplicate groups tab. So the users get informed about it and then they can react. So what's next? Well, wouldn't it be nice if we can search the mounting bracket without starting to design it? I guess so. That's the next thing I like to show you. But for that, let me rearrange my windows. Let me put the mounting bracket on the right side, Windchill to the left. And let's make that one a bit bigger. So let's focus on the mounting bracket first. When you want to search for that mounting bracket, then you probably need some properties to be able to describe it. And every time when you need a model, you know some properties. So in my case, I may know the length of the model. I know the width of the model. I know the height of the model. And in that case, I maybe have even more information. Like I do know there is a hole with a diameter of 25 in the middle, or there are 2 holes with a diameter of 5 and the hole pattern distance of 40. And I know about it. You don't always have the same properties, but you always know something about the models. And with those information, you can jump into model search and start a parameter search. So I'm jumping to the parameter search where I start to add my criteria. At the beginning, I only add the main dimensions, the bounding box dimension. So the maximum bounding box dimension is 90 plus minus 10. The minimum bounding box dimension, I choose 90 plus minus 10 again. And for the minimum bounding box dimension, I choose 70. But why do I choose 90 when I know that the model has a height of 87? Well, because I also can benefit if I find a similar model. Of course, if exactly the model I'm looking for is available, I will reuse this one. But if I can find a similar one, which as an example is missing a drilling, or there is one drilling too much available, then I will also reuse this one, because I only have to make my changes in the 3D model, and the drawing or the NC program will maybe automatically update. If not, then I only have to make those minor changes in the drawing and the CAM program. I do not have to recreate it from scratch, which means I will be able to save a lot of time. So let me start my search. I'm forwarded to the result dialog where it shows me I could identify 80 objects. Well, 80 out of a million, probably quite nice. But to be honest, nobody goes to 80 objects. So therefore, jump back to the criteria and add additional ones. In my case, add the hole diameter, 25 plus minus 5. We run the search. I'm forwarded to the result dialog, and wow, I could nail it down to 9 objects. So let's take a look how the models look like. First one, second one, third one, and as you can see, they all look very similar than the mounting bracket I need. Pretty cool. Okay, anyway, if you have part families that you need multiple times a week and you are able to search them with the parameter search, then you also have the possibility to store those queries. You can store them either for you personally, for your group, or for the whole company, depending on your needs. We ship ModelSearch with 7 or 8 predefined searches, just to give you an example how it works. You can make them accessible via the Saved Searches tab. One I like to show you is the search for washers. I directly jump into, I started, and I have found at least 100 objects. So all those objects look like washers, but probably it's not really interesting because we need a defined washer. We need a washer which has a specific inside diameter. And in my case, I work with metric units, but it's absolutely no problem. It also works with inches. So I work with metric units. I'm looking for a washer with an inside diameter of 10. I rerun the search. I'm forwarded to the result, and as you can see, there are only 3 available in my database. So one of those is the model I'm looking for. And of course, this also works with more complicated models. So the last example I'd like to show you is that we also can differentiate between rectangular and squared pipes. So let's start with the rectangular ones. I'll start the search, and then I will show you the results. So as you can see in the thumbnails, they are all rectangular pipes. So let's jump back to the saved searches. Let's take the squared ones, start the search, and check out the thumbnails. As you can see, those are all squared now. So if you do have models that you need very often and you do not find them at the moment, then it's absolutely no problem. We can help you, or we can support you to create those saved searches on your system so that in the future your designers or your users can access them very easily. Okay, that's everything from my side for the moment. Gerhard, it's your turn again.
Absolutely great. Thanks, Philip, for showing us the new features and functionalities. And we have some questions also in our queue. But before we will answer them, I have one question, ladies and gentlemen, once again to you. If you please be so kind and give us a short feedback about the ModelSearch solution, because we'd like to very quickly, together with our resellers and partners, in answering your question, and sure get very fast in contact with you in talking about the next joint activities. So thank you very much for giving this feedback as well. I see that here is a lot of interest. That looks very good. Let me shortly ask another question to you so that we understand to plan the resources and to be just in time really with you to support you within your negotiation and within the decisions. Great, thank you very much as well for your feedback. It looks really interesting. Very good. I see that we have some additional marks in here. Great. Okay, now it have stopped. Wow, that looks really great. So we have more than 50% which are interested in the next 12 months in maybe starting with model search or with a geometrical search solution. That's awesome. Thanks a lot. I will share my screen once more with you. Therefore, I change the moderation to me again. And hold on a second, I need the right screen. I get lost here a little bit. Now, here we can go. Okay, yeah. We have some questions also in the meantime. I'd like to answer some of them in common, and also we will answer your question what you have typed in personally for you gentlemen. So let me summarize a little bit what is really the value and the benefit, and what is the let's say the unique feature and functionalities which coming out of this model search bundles. Some of you have asked if it's available for Inventor and Windchill. The answer is yes. What you need therefore is the bundle Windchill for multicut in combination with Windchill and model search. The really special thing is that it's a native Windchill application. Within the Creo application, that is something where we have also the so-called model search live functionality. The difference between the other multicut solutions which are coming not from PTC. Therefore, we don't have the application programming interfaces, so we are not able to deliver here as well this model search live functionality. But all the other functionality what you have seen comes along with all the other cut systems as well. So multicut was another point what we got here as information. So Creo parametric in combination with other cut systems, and all the systems which is PDC supporting via the Creo Unite technology, we also are supporting via our multicut environment. Another question was, what is the license model of model search? And here the good news for you as well. Model search is a so-called real floating license model. What does that mean to you? So if you have, for example, 20 model search licenses in use, but you have maybe 30 or 40 Windchill users. So after a time period of 20 minutes, if a person is not using model search in combination with Windchill, then this license is automatically free for another user in your team. Therefore, you don't have to purchase for every Windchill user a model search license. For sure, we are offering here company bundles as well. And we have a lot of customers which have for every single Windchill user and CAD user an own model search license, because the payback is very, very fast, but we can flexible quote that with our partners together for you. What you will get as well with the recording of the meeting today is there are some references and some reference stories. I go a little bit fast on that over it, because I know your time is very, very valid and sensitive, and we'd like to open it for question and answers. So Philip, was there in the meantime another question which was coming around, what we like to answer for the whole group?
Yeah, there are multiple questions, and if you like, I can go through them. So let me start with, is there a way to identify a preferred model to reduce users picking the least desirable models? That's a pretty good question, and the answer is yes, there is the possibility. So as an example, you can add an attribute to the model, which you then make available in the result list. As you remember, those attributes are customizable. And you then can also use the value of the attribute to highlight their preferred models. So the ones which are preferred are highlighted green, red, whatever. The other ones are maybe highlighted in gray. So yeah, it's possible. Then next question, does the model search use soft attributes such as material, finish, and heat treatment? Also a good question, and I'm sorry I haven't answered it in my demonstration. So by default, we only use geometric attributes. Geometric attributes because they are always available, no matter who has created the model. So that's why we use geometric attributes by default. But yes, of course, if for you it's interesting that the model has a specific material or a specific finish or a specific heat treatment, and then we can also make those attributes available, and we can also use those attributes for validation. So as an example, all the results which do not use the selected material are not shown anymore for that search. Next question. Well, would like to see how this works for the designer who authors CAD in Inventor with the workgroup manager. I think that question Gerhard already has answered. So there is no directly integration to Inventor. So we don't have the pop-up in the CAD environment, but we do have exactly the same functionality in the workgroup manager. And as soon as the designer has checked in the model, the footprint is created, which means he then can start a search from the workgroup manager. Next one, and there were always more coming in. Can the search be restricted to only certain contexts, or would it be for the whole database? Also a good one, and it's up to you. So it depends. If you let us know before you were not interested in specific contexts, then we do not create footprints for those contexts. So then only footprints for the context you need are available. But if you mean one department is looking in the first 3 contexts and the other department is looking in context 4, 5, and 6, then that's also possible. So we can create additional restrictions for specific users, for specific groups, for specific departments. So it's possible, and it's up to you how you would like to use it. So there is no model search live for AutoCAD, it's just the Windchill searching available. That's absolutely correct. Well, with one restriction, for Creo Elements Direct, also Model Search Live is available. So for Creo Parametric and for Creo Elements Direct, we also have Model Search Live. For CATIA, Inventor, SolidWorks, and NX, we have the functionality in the Workgroup Manager. Can I search for model comparisons while designing a model in a non-Creo authoring tool? Specifically when the part I'm designing in the non-Creo authoring tool hasn't been published yet. Well, once more to remember, if you're working in NX, SolidWorks, Inventor, or CATIA, then you need to check in the model once. It's sent to our worker, the worker creates the footprint, and as soon as the footprint is available, you can start a similarity search with it. How long does it take to create the base footprint? Does it slow down the CAD tool save? That's also a very nice question. And it maybe takes, or I will answer it in 2 steps. So first of all, when you go for a model search, then we need to create the footprints for your database. We can create 300 to 400 footprints per hour per worker. So if you have 300,000 models, that takes a while. But you can parallelize that process. So if you have 2 workers, we can create 600 to 800 per hour. If you have 10 workers, then we can create 3,000 to 4,000 per hour. The second part, is it slowing down the CAD tool save? No, absolutely not. We don't do anything when you save the model. So how does it work? What's the magic behind? So if you regenerate the model, the footprint is calculated and sent to the model search worker or to the model search server. And on the server, all the magic happens. So on the server, we check the database. We are searching for similar models, and the client then only makes them visible. So all the calculation is not done on your client. It's all done on the server. That's why you don't have any performance impact on your Creo parametric client. And at least for now, the last one, does Model Search have any domains in the Windchill REST API? Does it have its own API endpoints by any change? Can we integrate with our own customizations with it? That's also a really good question. Probably one we should talk about more detailed. The short answer is yes, we offer our own REST services, we offer our own APIs, and we also have a web service which you can use. So I can also come up with 2 examples for the web service. So there was one customer request. They had more than one black sheep in their company. So there were more people who were not working with model search or who told them, I have found a similar model, but I have not created it. So I don't trust. It's okay. I do not reuse. So what they then did was they added similarity searches to their release process. So when the designers released the model, in the release process, a similarity search was triggered. And when Model Search found models with a rating higher than 95%, they were not allowed anymore to release the model alone. They needed approval. That's the first example. The second one, we had a bigger company. They acquired a second one, and they made similar products, and they wanted to figure out for big assemblies if they can harmonize the product, so if they can reuse existing models, so that in the future their manufacturing process is simplified, as well as everything related to their service department. And they used the web service to figure out additional criteria from the assembly analysis and mixed or added additional attributes from their ERP system. So some attributes they had in Windchill, some attributes they had in the ERP system, and they used the web service to combine the information and then exported the whole stuff into an Excel file. So that's maybe also something I forgot to mention. Could also be useful if you start similarity searches, parameter searches, or you're interested to the duplicate report, then of course you can also export all that information to Excel. So it's possible to forward it to your colleagues or whoever needs that information. So hopefully I have answered all your questions, but I don't see any more at the moment.
Great. Yeah, so thank you very much, Philip, in going really very detailed in this information. It was really great in having so a lot of interests, and it looks like that most of you are really interested. So if you like to get any information, please feel free to contact us directly, or I know a lot of you are invited from TriStar, for example, or from other resellers like ITT Lab in Italy, or also in Poland, 3D Pro. So you are welcome to contact your direct sales team, or you also can share this information with us. We will work together with your partner and make sure that you get all the information as soon as possible. So it looks like that we have no other question right now. I'd like to offer, if some of you like to have a live question from us answered, you can raise your hand in the panel so we know that we can open up your microphone, and we are happy to answer anything what for today we can do for you just live. I give you some time on that. Yeah, so it was really great in having you all today here. So once more, thank you very much for your interest and for really this active and interactive webcast for today. For now, Philip and me, we just can say one thing to you.
Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for the interest. We wish you a great day and hope to hear from you soon. Cheers.
Exactly. Thank you very much, gentlemen. So we are on the end of the webcast for today. You will get in the next few days the recording link, and feel free if you have any question just to contact your reseller or just us directly. Thanks once more, and have a great day. Have a good time. Stay safe, and hear and see you soon. Bye-bye.